It's actually massive. I think the screen doesn't really tilt. You are able to start the smart drive. So cool thing about this vehicle, it's rear-wheel drive. Hey guys, this is Joey, welcome to the channel. Today we are driving the all-new BYD Sealion 05. This is the name for this particular vehicle in the Chinese market. It's going to be different from the New Zealand market. I think if this car eventually makes its way to the New Zealand and Australian market, this will be named as Sealion 5 or something similar. This is the pure electric version. There is also a DMI, which is a plug-in hybrid version available. I'm not sure which will go to the New Zealand or Australian market, but today we are driving the pure EV version. So first thing is the dimensions. This is slightly larger than the BYD Atto3 by a very small margin. It is just over 4.6 meters long with a wheelbase at 2.72 meters, which is actually the same wheelbase as the Atto3, but just stretched a little bit longer. So this vehicle's starting price in the Chinese market is actually identical to the BYD Atto3, so hopefully when this eventually makes its way to the New Zealand Australian market, it's going to cost similar sort of thing. From the side, it looks a little bit more boxier than the BYD Atto3. You can see the stretched wheel arch and things like that. And then at the front, the headlights and also the grille just looks very similar to all the other BYD Sealion family vehicles. BYD logo on the top, LED running bars, which they don't lit up at daytime for the Australian New Zealand regulations, but they could lit up at night. And then LED headlights are also over there. There's a front-mounted camera, and all these new BYD vehicles available in the Chinese market are equipped with something called God's Eyes. They got the smart drive availability. That means the car can do self-parking. You can just see so many cameras and things like that. I'm not sure that's something that's going to be available in the overseas market, but I've done a video to demonstrate that particular feature. That video will be on the channel soon, so do subscribe and like. Now, tail lights looks quite striking. So you got BYD logo here, like painted black, so the glass cover over here with some LED designs over there. It looks nothing like any other BYD vehicles, but it does look all right. So this one we are driving is sort of the mid to entry spec. They're only available in the manual tailgate. Opening this up, this doesn't look huge. It looks similar to the Atto3, but when you lift this up, there's tons of storage underneath. You can also drop this low. That means I think this could have about 450 to 460 liters of boot space. The rear seats can be dropped off 40-60 split. That will be flat against the top level. Now there is a bonnet, which is again something different from the BYD Atto3. There is a reason why this may have a Frunk compared to the BYD Atto3. It's actually massive. I think this could be somewhere around 100 or even more than 100 liters. It looks as similar to the Tesla Model Y or something like that. Max kilograms is 25. The reason this has a Frunk compared to the BYD Atto3, I think that's going to come to the rear driving motor. This one is available for the rear wheel drive. Unlike the BYD Atto3, this is rear mounted, rear wheel drive, and it does have a newer suspension setup, newer platform as well. This platform is called E-Platform 3.0 Evo, so it's different platform compared to all the other BYD vehicles we've seen on the New Zealand market. Now let's go to the second row to see how the second row looks like. So at the front, that is set to my driving position. I'm about 178 centimeters tall. I've got great amount of legroom. Foot space is all right. It's not too raised up either. There is air vents, there is USB chargings. This one is finishing the standard synthetic leather seats. They're not super premium, but again, I'm not sure if this is going to be the same spec as the Australasia market, because this is the Chinese market. This is the base to the second spec for this particular trim. Doors feels just like the BYD Atto3, sounds okay. Some soft plastic on the top, some fabric trim over here, some leather trim over here, and door handle is definitely not as crazy as the BYD Atto3. And there's tons of headroom even with the panoramic sunroof. So overall, it's a good space for the rear seats, and there is of course an armrest. Now at the front, this is what the interior looks like. The steering looks identical to many BYD vehicles, but the buttons has been changed. The screen doesn't really tilt or go a horizontal or vertical way, so they just stay here. It's quite funny because it does look like it's gonna tilt. Anyway, this is a 12.8 inch screen. That's a 8.6 inch dashboard, something like that. It's a little bit different because I don't think the New Zealand version will get the smaller screen. You may see big screens at 15.6, whatever you want, but this screen is still relatively useful. Click over here, you can get all your apps. Click over here, you can do air cons. To remember, you can also do 3 fingers to change whatever you like on the air conditioning systems. In the Chinese version, internet connection, wireless phone charging, and OTA update, everything is all there. There is no head-up display on this spec, but I think the top spec will get the head-up display. Now, if you're looking at the center console, you'll find there's no gear selector controls, as all the Chinese versions after the 2025 updates will have the column shifter behind the steering. So foot on the brake, press down, that's beyond drive, all the way back, that's reverse, and that's the 360 camera. So yeah, all the Chinese versions are now getting this, even including the BYD Atto3, or even including the Sealion, whatever you are after. The reason also they updated this is they do have the stop-start button over here now, and then they added a park assist function. So this vehicle does have the self-parking assist, and also this vehicle can do the remote parking for you. But again, only available in the Chinese market. I'm not sure if that's going to come to New Zealand at all. Other things, behind the steering, you notice one single paddle shifter over here. Again, that's come with the same package of the Smart Drive. Once you drive on the motorway, single press this button, you are able to start the Smart Drive, so the vehicle actually guides you in the landmarking. But it does more than level 2. So in the Chinese market, if you type anything on the navigation, it will ask you, it will give you guidance as 80% of this travel will be able to use the Smart Drive. That means if you're driving a motorway, you can simply use this, and the vehicle can go overpass the vehicle if the front vehicle drives too slow according to the speed limit, and then can give way, can go out of the, let's say, motorway and things like that. So that's really cool. Again, that's equipped on even on the Seagull, on the higher spec, or on the Sealion 5, Sealion 7, pretty much a standard across many BYD vehicles. That's crazy value that they added towards these vehicles. Anyway, going back to the center console, we are going to get a wireless phone charging, 50 watts with the active air vents, and over here just the resting pad, 2 cup holders, and over here storage over here. I think that's for your keys, for your things, or for your tissue boxes. Storage over here, storage underneath with more USB chargings and things like that. Build quality wise, leather steering feels alright, similar to the Atto3. Some material on the top, some material over here, leather finish over here. Again, this is the mid spec. It's not super premium, but it's got okay amount of features. It's not as premium as the Sealion 7. Do not expect that, because these will definitely be priced way lower than that price. And then piano black panels over here. So overall it looks okay, not premium, but build quality is up to its standards for the price. And then you do have the panoramic sunroof plus the sunshade cover if you want to use that. Anyway, that's the interior. Let's go for a drive. All right, now let's get on the road to go for a test drive. First thing, visibility on the side, it's good. Rear is okay, not too bad, medium size. On the side, that's pretty good too. Again, column shifter behind the steering. We are on the road. So first thing, the battery and power, 60 kWh battery on this vehicle, with the CLTC range just over 500 kilometers. I think under WLTP it should land about 400 to 440 kilometers on this bigger battery. There's also a smaller battery, 51 kWh battery. I don't think that's going to come to the New Zealand market, being a very small short range, unless they want to do a price cutting sort of price tag. Anyway, this new platform is called E-Platform 3.0 Evo. So the difference between this and the other versions, just a slightly refined driving, a little bit better handling, arguably. Hopefully we will be able to test that. We are on a country road, so we want to be very conservative. The cool thing about this vehicle, it's rear-wheel drive, so the turning angle is really good. The handling is actually all right. It's got 160 kilowatts of power, 330 Newton meters of torque for the Chinese versions. Both numbers are just a little bit more than the BYD Atto3. The 0 to 100 timer is around 7.2 seconds. Again, more than enough for what you really need for your daily drive. Today we are driving on the busy road, so we can just drive slowly first and before you get on the motorway section. It's chaos over here. I do apologize, because when you drive in China, it's not going to be easy to drive around just by your own, and there will be so many things about the driving part and things just like that. But the cool thing is the vehicle now has all the digital information that's going to show you all the pedestrians, bikes, trucks, whatever around the road. It's going to give assistance accordingly if necessary, of course. Do remember, this is the function that's available in the Chinese market. Not sure if they will land in the overseas market when we publish the video. All right, let's do a little bit acceleration just to see if we can do. This is a sport mode. We can do a little bit acceleration, 1, 2, 3. It's all right. So yeah, a very smooth transition from the power delivery, even on the sport mode. It does not feel too aggressive. The cool thing about BYD cars, they kind of, the acceleration feels like a petrol car. There's a little bit small, let's say, delay or hesitation when you press your foot down, but it means it's a gentle acceleration. And there's voice recognition or voice command function that's going to give you warnings about sharp turns or bridges and things like that. And the suspension on this vehicle is also different from the BYD Atto3. At the front, it's MacPherson. At the rear, it's a new 5-link setup. And that's different from the BYD Atto3 in the New Zealand market. It's a bit more supportive. It is still as comfy as the BYD Atto3, but at the same time, it just feels a bit more supportive when you go around the corners. Still, it's got enough support when you go around the corners, and the turning angle or half circle of turning angle is only 4.65 meters, so it's very small basically. On this road, it's really soft, the suspension works quite well, it's quite silent at low speed like this. And this is rough roads you're going to see. I go through the bumps, it's going to have all the small noises here and there, but yeah, overall it just feels quite good. It's fairly soft. It's probably the way you want to phrase it. It's not harsh, it's not too aggressive on the suspension setup. It's got okay amount of balance. Since this is relatively inexpensive in the Chinese market, the suspension setup is definitely acceptable. And the cool thing is it's rear-wheel drive. The steering actually talks to you. It's fairly easy to control all your things. Again, this is rough. We won't have these sort of roads in New Zealand, I suppose. All right, we can now try a little bit more acceleration over here. 1, 2, 3. It's all right. It's again very smooth transition. They don't want to make it super aggressive and things like that. So it's not bad. It's not terrible. But again, 160 kilowatts is more than enough for what people use. I don't think you need more than that in terms of its acceleration. And riding on these surfaces, which is sort of semi-highway, still the speed limit is quite low. It's really soft. It's just very silent. There's not much noise. The good thing about many Chinese roads, which is like this, not like what we drove earlier, it's going to be just easy to drive. It's flat. That's why many Chinese cars will be like a comfy car instead of just a sporty vehicle. And this is what this vehicle stands for at the same time as well. And I think that's pretty much all what we want to talk about for the BYD Sealion 5. Do you like the Sealion 5? Please let me know in the comments. Hopefully we'll be able to see this vehicle in the New Zealand market soon. And thanks for watching. See you next video.